Yeah, he's an all-rounder.
Okay, race and roll.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, we'll just first we'll talk about the gig that happened in July. What was it like to be up there in front of all those people?
I say scary when I'm asked what it was like being up there.
It's definitely more scary than exciting, isn't it? Especially when you first go on.
Yeah.
Daunting.
Well, I was quite lucky because when my initial thing was just not mess up really and just get my records to go in time, and I actually had quite a good idea of what I was going to play. So it was just get those right, and then I could relax. And actually, as soon as I came off, I had a great time, and I was all very excited. But it is just dropping a beat in front of that many people is too scary a prospect for me, anyway.
So I read that you and Dorothy said the previous one was like a religious experience. Is it the same this time?
A different religion, I think. Yeah, I mean the first one just because there was no expectation. We just thought, well, if it doesn't rain and a few people turn up, then it's a triumph. Whereas this year, because we'd already done it once, there was more onus to try and do it as good, if not better. And then the size of the crowd, it's just like, I have to live up to this, So it was far more daunting this year because there was a certain expectation, whereas before it was just like, well, if the sound system works and it doesn't rain, then we're doing okay.
Yeah. I think
going out live on the TV as well.
Yeah, I think the fact that we were doing interviews during the afternoon, and sort of about between 1 and sort of 4 o'clock, and just sort of looking down and just going, sure, that's more people than last year already.
It's definitely more than last year.
And you just saw the crowds, and obviously, I mean, there is the slight worry for safety and everything like that. So I think that was on our minds as well.
I was absolutely bricking it because just before I went on, the police said you can't go on. There's too many people. It's dangerous. And I said, yeah, but surely it's going to be more dangerous if I don't go on, because at least we got 250,000 happy people. And he said, yes, we thought that too. And so when I went on, I was already rattled because I thought I wasn't going to go on. And then we got delayed, and I was standing live on the telly, and they're going, go on. I'm going, I can't. Yeah. And so I think I was probably when I walked on stage, probably the most stressed I've ever been when I went on stage. Everything going wrong everywhere.
But out of that chaos.
Yeah.
And beauty.
Yes, actually, beauty.
Wow.
I mean, 250,000 or 60,000
Too many to count.
I mean, when did you find out that being there?
Not until Monday, really.
You're just
everyone
getting
does guesstimates, but the police have got a way of doing it. They fly over the helicopter and they just grid it out, and there's a certain density of people, and they add up the number of squares. Whereas we were just standing there going, bloody hell, there's
7,
thousands.
8, 9.
Yeah, you can't. And also, we didn't realise there was tons of people around the corner. There was tons of people behind us. Apparently there was 30,000 people behind the stage who couldn't get around the front. So yeah, it was more than you could really take in.
Yeah.
It was more as far as the eye could see.
Now I just wanted to clear something else. I've read it in this article today about the casualties during the actual thing. Because from what I read this afternoon, they weren't the guy who died in the house before.
No, the guy who died didn't actually die. He didn't exist. We heard that he died, but he'd had 3 heart attacks. Then he died, but he was at home in Shoreham. So in the end, we phoned the hospitals, and they said no one died of a heart attack in Sussex that weekend. So he didn't die at all. And then the girl who did die, it was a real tragedy, but it couldn't have been avoided. It was nothing directly related to the gig. It happened after the gig had finished, and the only thing was that she was in Brighton for the gig, but she could have, it could have happened in Croydon. It wasn't related to the gig. But having said that, I don't shirk any sort of responsibility for her death, and it was very, very upsetting. And I was absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, her family did get in contact and say, look, please don't let that, it was nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And
to be honest, the lump in my throat only went when they wrote to me and said, look, don't feel any responsibility. And they said she phoned them up and said, I'm having the best night of my life. And they said, thanks for making her last night a good one. Yeah, it was a horrific week the week after, because all the press were saying things about, 2 people died, and we didn't know what had really gone on. And there was a lot of disinformation. I think a lot of papers wanted to sell extra copies by making out it was more of a disaster than it was. Not that we're, trying to shirk any responsibility, but, 249,000 people had a fantastic time.
And that's the thing. I mean, people tend to forget that there was that many people who behaved very well to each other. There obviously were that many people. You will get a few ne'er-do-wells, I think they would have said in the 50s.
Gutter snipes.
But there was the positive thing was that all those people did look after each other and avoided something, something that could have been potentially worse. So
the police said we could have had major injury and death on our hands if everyone hadn't cooperated with them so well, and everyone was very good-natured and did what the stewards asked them to. But I mean, some papers reported that there was no stewards, and there was like 300.
I mean, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes for better copy.
Exactly. But what people want to know is it going to happen again?
Oh, we want to know that too. There's been suggestion of it. We're investigating whether or not we can do it and guarantee that the problems that did happen, i.e. overcrowding, litter on the beach, just general mess and toilet mess. We're just investigating whether it's possible to sort out those problems. Like I said, I mean, the council wants us to do it again, but I only want to do it if I can guarantee everyone's safety and guarantee that the city won't be quite as messed up as it was last time. Because we have to live here, and I don't want to be run out of town by an angry mob if we do it again.
It did smell a bit.
It did, yeah. I mean, we're investigating it, but I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to fence it in and limit the numbers and try and make it just for people in Brighton rather. We didn't invite the whole of England, but between sort of E4 and Radio 1 and XFM, they did actually invite most of England, and half of England turned up. But yeah, I mean, if it's just more Brighton people, then there's not so much problem with traffic coming in and out. And if we limit the numbers, then we can make sure we've got enough toilet facilities and rubbish bins, and we can stop people taking glass on the beach. But we're kind of thinking about it at the moment.
That was the album.
Onto the album.
Now, obviously, these tunes were obviously played on play. Why did you, because there must have been, I think, tunes that you played on play, why was it these particular ones that are on
Well, for my bit, I mean, I did the first 5 tunes. I mean, they just seemed right. That my job was the ease them in with the sort of summery, laid-backness.
It was still really hot, bright, sunny day when you were on, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was nice. But everyone had been waiting all day, but I thought rather than start banging, so the idea was just to sort of ease it up and sort of to get everyone going sort of slowly and nicely. So that was the thinking behind my choice.
Then John Digweed whipped him into a frenzy.
Yeah.
And my job was just to hang on to the roller coaster.
Hang on for dear life at the end.
I mean, and the choice on the album, I think it was like a nice chunk of Damien's set. But for me, basically, it was my set minus the bootlegs and things that we had to edit out because we couldn't clear them legally.
Because I mean, also, for me personally, I didn't manage to link it. Right that day, so I had to be up my camera.
Well, you can get the DVD.
I had a place to stay. I had a trip down there, a place to hang out. I couldn't link it, but it must be the beat box and the beat box, and it's all the same tune.
Yeah, well, it was the middle of summer, and I mean, when you're playing to that many people, you have to play big tunes. I mean, in a way, I felt I was a little bit jealous of Damien because he could sort of start and sort of mould things, whereas by the time I went on, I just had to play anthems, or tunes that I knew worked with a big crowd. There was no room for subtlety by the time I went on.
Yeah. Or obscure building records or anything like that. No.
Or just any let up whatsoever.
It was relentless, wasn't it?
Now, as far as the album goes, is the tunes that are unique to the album and mixes that are unique to the actual album?
Yeah, there's a mix of Lazy that I did, which I've just got on an acetate that's never been released.
And the
All Saints, I did a little re-edit of the All Saints to finish with. I think they're the only ones that are totally
completely unavailable.
But I mean, for every Tim Deluxe, there's something a bit more obscure.
Now, I have to ask about you, both of your pseudonyms. When do you become your pseudonyms? When do you become Nicholas Anthony? When do you become Fatboy Slim? So, do you feel like you have this, when I've read about you saying you don't feel like you're going to the shirt and come out and go,
Yeah. Well, basically, a crap Hawaiian shirt and half a bottle of vodka turns me from Norman Cook into Fatboy Slim.
Yeah. And a pair of headphones.
And a pink shirt.
And a pink polo shirt turned me into the midfield general. I don't know, it's very odd actually. It's but basically boys like coming up with funny nicknames, don't they, and pseudonyms, and
Well, especially when your names are Norman and Damien.
yeah.
If we were called Troy and
And
Clint
Buck.
or something, yeah, maybe we would have stuck with our names.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's just a pseudonym, and it's the position I always wanted to play at football as well, midfield general. So I think we've really skirted around that question quite badly. We haven't really answered it at all, have we?
How very professional.
Yeah.
We could be politicians, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could skirt
Well
around.
versed in the art of not answering questions.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever we fancy.
No, with me, it's, I do literally put on the shirt and I drink, because sometimes I get to a gig and I really feel like Norman Cook on a wet Tuesday lunchtime.
Whereas I actually get meeker.
Yeah, right.
I actually go from the bullish, dynamic record executive to meek. Oh no, don't look at me. Warm-up DJ. So yeah, interesting comparisons there.
Now, 77 Strings
Yes.
is going to be the single off this album.
Yeah.
Love the video. I thought it was very, just little bits of and stuff like that. I mean, why did you decide to put this song versus almost to represent
So we couldn't use any of mine because they'd already been out. It was one of the high points. It was when everything really sort of kicked in, because the first couple of records that everyone was still like trying not to surge too much and whatever. I think that was definitely a moment when everyone was like, yes. So it was a big track on the night. Also, we subsequently, actually, it's Curtis Mantronics, who happened to be there on the night, and he was really chuffed that I was playing one of his records, and we've since signed it to Southern Fried, so we're allowed to release it because we own it now. But we just needed something as a little taster, something that we could make a video to and show on the telly, but we couldn't really use any of my tracks, could we?
No.
They've all been done to death. Or they've got swear words all over them.
Yeah.
Now, the video, when that's all people from the crowd and all this, like, is it anything personal about it, or is it just something that, as far as the people that are featured in the video?
Well, not in the Chamonix sort of edit, but we're releasing a DVD of the whole show, and in that I managed to spot just about all of my family, every celebrity friend that was there. But I mean, it's great because it's great for me to see the DVD for the first time, because obviously while I'm working, I'm kind of concentrating on what I'm doing. Didn't get a huge amount of time to look up at the crowd, and plus because the lights were on you only see the first sort of 5 rows. So there was, I missed the 4-foot inflatable penis. Didn't know of that.
That was a highlight.
Yeah, see, I didn't know of its existence until I saw it back in film. But I think watching the DVD and watching the footage, it's basically blokes playing records, and the crowd are actually the stars of the show. They're the spectacle. They're the ones doing silly things. We're just concentrating like mad, trying not to get anything wrong. And it's the crowd the crowd are the ones who are performing. And there's some fantastic characters in there.
Definitely. I mean, you can see it there on the video. So. But anyway, Big Beach Boutique 2. Why did you think about having another title, or did you just go, nah, it's just going to be 2?
There was suggestion of other titles because of sponsorship, but luckily the major label vodka distributor who pulled out and stiffed us with 6 weeks to go, mentioning no Smirnoffs, names. Yeah, they wanted to call it like the Smirnoff Experience, and luckily they pulled out, so we could call it what we wanted. But I don't know, it's got a good ring to it, Big Beach Boutique.
Yeah, I think it was too good a pun to turn down, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes these puns are just so obvious they have to be
They
done.
slap you in the face.
No, I mean, because there's nothing much else we could have called it, Fat Boy on the Beach.
Yeah. No, Big Beach Boutique.
Yeah.
It worked.
And am I right saying that basically with some of the songs that you sort of
Not
Yep, you're getting that
I
quite.
don't know how you could get another album out of that album. Or maybe if we stick the CD of last year and this year together, they might have babies. From then we'll spawn. I don't know. No, as far as we know, no. This is it. It's a souvenir of the night. I don't. No, there won't be any others.
Maybe talking about my album.
Well, yeah, there is a spin-off Midfield General album.
Yeah, but no, I haven't finished that yet, so no, it can't be that one she's talking about. Yeah.
Also, when you actually listen to this album, personally, for you guys, even though you sort of put it together and stuff like that, does it bring flood back all the memories for you, or is it something like, right, we've done it now, get it away?
No, I mean it certainly brings back memories, but my memories of that moment are just blind panic. So
You should just start panicking every time you hear the album.
just go on, get it in time, get it in time. Yeah, so no, I mean it does, and I mean certainly looking through the photos and everything like that as well. No, it's a nice warm memory, really.
There's certain tunes that I can't hear without thinking about the beach. I mean, obviously the All Saints bit, I'll never be able to listen to that record again without picturing everyone singing along to it and the fireworks going off.
That was an amazing moment. Yeah, I'll remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very nice.
It's quite funny because a friend of mine spent all day and when he'd actually got to the place, the All Saints played, he was like, the All Saints finished, he's got down. But anyway,
Yeah.
what was like the next question?
I've got friends who were there and didn't manage to hear one beat of music all day.
Yeah.
The helicopter apparently was very...
Yeah, the helicopters were quite intrusive.
I had a question in mind straight out of the next oh yeah, basically when you actually put this together, this album, and also when you actually do, I know what my question was. It's come back in the video. There's a police where fluff lands on the decks.
It's not fluffy, it was fake snow.
Fake snow, and you're like, oh no. What is the worst thing that can happen?
Well, that's up there in the top 5. Fake snow clogging your needle up.
Oh, terrible.
'Cause it's terrible because you can't even blame anyone. It was self-induced.
Yes.
I'd actually paid for the fake snow to clog.
It's
Well, no, there's two kinds of. I sound like Dennis Gordon. There's two kinds of cloggers. No, there's two kinds. There's self-induced ones.
Yeah.
And there's which are putting the wrong side of the record on, putting it on the wrong speed, falling over and jogging the decks,
Taking it off.
taking off the record that's playing.
The wrong record. That's horror.
And then there's other ones like fake snow landing. I had one at Back to Basics where they let off one of those confetti cannons, and it just rained small pieces of paper that big on the record that was playing, which was just knocking the needle flying. And there was 3 of us standing there with record sleeves, like trying to fan them all off and holding record sleeves over the deck. So, and then there's punters who lean over to ask you something and put their elbow on the record that's playing,
Yeah.
and you're like, and they're like, what? I'm like, you're on the record. So yeah, no, I think, but to be honest,
You've got someone to blame there, though.
yeah, but unless you take it really, really seriously, I think most things like that they add to the atmosphere. It's like in a school dining hall when someone drops a plate, everyone cheers. It's like if the music goes off, everyone just really cheers, and then they cheer more when it comes back on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, over the years, I've done every single one. Even recently, I put a record on at the wrong speed. It's going to happen every now and then, especially.
Yeah. Shows you're human.
Yeah,
Norm.
shows you're human. And if you're man enough to stand up and go, yes, that was my fault. It's quite funny, you see some DJs, they cock up and they try and blame everybody else. Something goes wrong and they're like...
Yeah.
But I always go, yes, it was me, drunk again.
I'm losing my questions out of my head, but I'm going to keep going.
You should write them down.
I do write them down, but then I just sort of scribble and, it's all rather all over the place. Now, it's already gone. Sorry about this. Oh yes, musical taste. This is what I was going to ask you before, and then I asked the other questions. The other one came back. Why? Where do you get your musical ear from? Where do you look for your tunes that you actually when you're actually putting them together your stuff? Where do you get your inspiration from? Because it seems to be quite an eclectic range that you sort of delve into.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's the life we chose. means that you get to hear 30 or 40 new records a week, really, and you either go buying them or you get sent them or you sign them up, as we're both sort of got record labels. So you just get them from wherever. But I mean, you're constantly looking for them.
I think both of us have always had quite an eclectic taste in music.
Yeah.
You never would have said, "Oh, Damien, he's a techno head." It's like he's someone who likes music, and he'll like techno records, and he'll like breakbeat records, and he'll like pop records. So, and I think neither of us, you could say, well, obviously there's things we like more than others, but I think both of us have got quite an open mind musically, which helps, I think.
Well, which does help, and we couldn't have gone and been too sort of obscure or sort of what's the word? Blinkered.
Imagine how different our lives would be if I only liked sort of dub between 74 and 77.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't be doing this interview here.
I certainly wouldn't be living here. I'd be living in Brixton in some hovel.
Yeah. It's
just upstairs from Red Records.
Yeah. With your ear to the ground.
Yeah.
No, it's. I mean, I think that a lot of the success of the boutique and Skint was based on that sort of an eclectic sort of taste, and picking that right record for the moment that people probably didn't expect or things like that. And I mean, personally, I see that more of a skill in DJing than perfect mixing. I like going to hear a DJ and you'll just put something on that you didn't expect and you go brilliant, and it's something you hadn't heard. And I think we both sort of try and do that. Well,
over the years, we've definitely raised a few eyebrows.
Yeah, and that's good. You more than me.
Yeah. It's quite a lives in Brighton. He's got a mad musical taste, and how he does it. This is a radio station in France. They have the Brighton
Yes.
station, which he just listens to over and over again and writes down songs and then finds them.
All right.
But my final question is, apart from the songs that you've been involved with this year, what do you think have been the musical highlights for you from this year? What songs or what?
That Tweet record, Oops,
Yeah.
is just possibly one of the best records ever. The Strokes album is great.
My mind's gone completely blank.
Lots of records, but they're all on Skint. So it'll just look like shameless self-promotion if I mention them all. I would say if I had to pick one record, it would probably be the Tweet Oops thing. And for quite a while actually, American R&B has been sort of some of the most inspiring sort of music around. So I'd say Tweet. Norman? No pressure.
I think the return of Underworld, like a long lost friend.
2 months off is
And
amazing.
Especially because Darren's a really good friend of mine, and with him leaving, I was really thinking that I either wouldn't like them because Darren wasn't in them anymore, and there was no real animosity, but I might think, well, I'm not allowed to like him because Darren's left, and also sort of worried what they'd sound like, and it was like having an old friend back. Really, really chuffed for them, and fantastic record. One that just the more times you listen to it, the more you get out of it.
And sorry, final one. What's next for you guys? What are you up to?
I'm just I've just been putting the finishing touch to a Skint compilation and DVD called We Are Skint. So I've been involved in that, and I'm then meant to be trying to record my album. Summer was a bit of a write-off, and so I'm just trying to get motivated and go in and finish that. So that's next on my agenda.
Mine immediately is doing some stuff with Blur, producing Blur, and then getting on with my next studio album. Like I said, sort of summer's over now. It's time to get off the road and get back in the studio.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Excellent. Nice
Okay,
to talk to you.
no worries.
Sorry about the